I remember a long time ago, Nas and Jay-Z did an interview together. And they didn't imply anything. They said that you snitched on them in a record. Where was you at when you saw that, and how did you feel? Like, how did you react to that?
I don't remember where I was at. I remember seeing it, but I ain't really cared that time whenever they did it. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Nas and Jay-Z. I don't have a problem with either one of them guys.
Right.
But at the time, not ever saying I could, of course I did a record with Jay-Z, never did a record with Nas, and those are two people, as far as their accolades and music are concerned, I could never ever compare to. But I'm just talking about my mind frame at the time was that, I dissed y'all on this was my, and like I said, I have no problem with them now, but that was just my mind frame when I heard them say that. I was like, this is y'all reaction to my diss record, because I dissed both of them and they didn't reply.
Right.
So, and I wasn't just randomly dissing them because there was nothing else to do. I had my reasons, which I thought was valid at the time, and 30 years later, they may not have been valid when you sit back and think about the whole overall view. But that was just my opinion at the time. I'm like, y'all can sit here and say this, but the records is out there. It's your go. This is your go? Fine. If this is your go, I won. That was just my mind state at the time. So when I heard them say that, I ain't pay that shit no mind like that. I was more like, look, y'all niggas get in battles, raps or whatever, beef with each other, and people usually respond at that time. But they took a higher road and didn't respond to me when I dissed them. So that was my mind state at the time.
I was just going to ask you that. At that time, would you have liked for them to respond? And you go back again, back and forth, you know what I mean? Like the back and forth.
I'm not saying I necessarily would have liked them to respond, but during that era, I would have been ready for a response.
Right.
Like I would have had something. I wouldn't have let it die at just that response. When you're during that era, when you're doing battle raps, let's just take Nas and Jay-Z's beef for instance, right? They didn't just, everybody remembers the Takeover and they remember Ether. But it was other records before and after that, little shit leading up to that. When you're in that era and you're in a rap battle, you're not just preparing for one round or one song or whatever. You're preparing for a couple rounds possibly. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no internet. It wasn't no social media. The radio played it, et cetera, et cetera. So you're not just expecting boom, boom, and that's the end of it. Jay-Z had more than the Takeover and Nas had more than Ether. So yeah, I would have been ready or tried to be ready for if they made a response to that. But it just didn't happen. And, looking back on it, it's cool. I'm glad it didn't happen. I'm just answering the question to you, my mind state at that particular time. I didn't care if they said I snitch or anything like that. My mind state was more like, oh, y'all niggas ain't getting in the booth. Oh, well, or whatever. But that was just the mind state I had.
But when you think about it now, being that we're more grown, you think you overreacted a little bit? Because all he really said on the radio was he didn't like the album. He didn't really go, like he just gave his opinion. Do you think, like now, I'm talking about now, do you think you like, damn, I did go kind of crazy a little bit?
Looking back at it, it was like, not really, because it was like, we was super duper Nas fans. Even when he said that, it's like, wasn't just Kim making a decision. It was the Diplomats as a group making a decision. We was on tour, it wasn't even promo tour, we was on tour. You gotta realize it was myself, it was Jim, it was Jewels. Remember Mo Sticky was there on the bus, and it was like, damn, man, what we gonna do? This is Nas.
Yeah.
We fucking grew up listening to Nas. But
Definitely.
it was kind of like, damn, it's our go, and niggas is shitting when it's our go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't just us he dissed or me he dissed. He dissed Noriega. It was Noriega's go.
Yeah.
He dissed Nelly. It was Nelly's go. Whether he liked what we were rapping about or not, it was our go. And that's what I felt, that you're trying to stagnate what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Our go. Like it's our go. And we didn't do nothing to you. It was Hot 97 you was beefing with. Like, what the hell did we do?
Angie, this Flex. He went crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it wasn't, and listen, that was one of the toughest decisions we had to make as a group because it was like, damn, we love this nigga. What the fuck we did to him? It wasn't us, it was the radio.
You had a night to think about it, or you went to the studio that night?
Nah, we actually had to fly back. We wasn't in New York. we was somewhere else, and we flew back and did like 3 mixtapes in a day or 2 mixtapes in a day. Think about it. I think it was Diplomat 2, and I think we did a whole mixtape. I don't remember, but it wasn't one song. It was a whole mixtape we flew back to do and then flew back the same night and got back on tour. So we did all that shit in one day, all of us. And to me, that was the most impressive part. Not the dissing or Nas or anything, that we were such in our bag or such in the zone that we could go knock out a whole mixtape in a day and go back to touring right after that.